What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it is time to talk about Dragon Ball Super Episode 52. This fucking show, man. I'm just gonna start off with it right away. Just when they're telling Trunks he became a scholar, and Trunks is just like, so his dream finally came true. I was like, fuck yeah! Fuck yes! Thank you! Trunks, you just became like the best character ever. Fuck all the Gohan haters. Fuck all of you guys. Trunks just justified and validated it all in this episode. Throughout the whole episode, but that scene in particular. Fuck, man, I practically wanted to get up and dance. That shit was fucking awesome. But anyways, and of course if you go down to the comments below the video, it's still a bunch of cancer about Gohan. But still, ignoring that, the episode itself... Trunks and that scene, probably one of my favorite parts of the episode, just purely for that one line of dialogue. The rest of the episode is amazing, though. Okay, so going into the technical aspects of this episode, starting off with the sound design, as usual, it's great. The music accompanying each of the scenes is really good. They chose, of course, the sad music for fucking future Gohan, and they chose the kind of sad, you know, nostalgic kind of music for when... he's thinking about how he could have had, you know, a family life if Goku Black hadn't shown up. So, you know, you got the future Gohan scene and that scene. The music accompanying both scenes was really good, so that's the music. Of course, it's great. I mean, Toei Animation makes fantastic music for pretty much every series I've seen by them. Dragon Ball Super is no exception. So yeah, sound design and all that stuff, fantastic. In terms of anime, well, maybe I wouldn't say fantastic, but, you know, it's good. In terms of art and animation... it's good. It's better in terms of art than the previous episode. There was some really good shots of Gohan and Trunks and the sunset and everything. And overall, the art looked really nice. The animation, it is what it is. You know, it's not really. It didn't need to be anything above what it was. It was just a bunch of talking scenes and some emotional moments, but nothing that really needed that extra oomph. You know what I mean? Like there was one moment where Trunks pulled out his sword while having a dream. And that was kind of slick looking. You know, it was nothing fantastic, but it looked pretty good. You know, like the art and animation was good overall in this episode. The only place where it could have been better, definitely, and I'm not knocking the score for this because it was just one small scene. The flashback, in my opinion, like if I was in charge, I would have just used footage from the History of Trunks TV special. I wouldn't have reanimated that because the original looked really good. And they reanimated it in a way where it's like, yeah, it's just sort of like rushing through it. You know, I mean, obviously it's just our little recap to establish to Piccolo and Krillin, you know, what's going on with Trunks in the future and everything, like what his past is. His past in the future. Fuck that, whatever. But yeah, a little confusing. But, well, not really, but when you say it like that, it sounds a little confusing without context. He explains that, and obviously they just gave you that quick little recap. But I would have used the actual footage, because the animation there was a little underwhelming for Trunks' first Super Saiyan transformation. But, again, it's not like they were really showing his first Super Saiyan transformation. Like, it's just a flashback, so I can see why the animation wasn't top-notch. But still, it could have been stronger there. And I'm focusing on that way too much, but I just wanted to point that out. And I'm not detracted from the score because of it, because it was literally, like, what, 2 minutes of animation in the entire episode? Probably not even that. In terms of story progression and characterization... in terms of story progression, we know what the fuel is, and Bulma is making it, and it's going to be ready in a day. Goku, Beerus, and Whis leave to, Oh, actually, no. Whoa, hold on. Let me go back to the animation for a second. I just remembered. Vegeta's training scene was fucking sick. Like, when he's like, shooting the... He, like, does that blast from behind shit. Yo, that scene looked really, really good. Animation gets a good, actually, because the rest of it looked fine, and the Vegeta training scene was really, really badass. Because I was just thinking about the characterization and I remembered Vegeta's scene. So yes, the animation definitely gets a good rating for sure. That scene plus everything else looking borderline good. So, with all that being said, moving on to the story progression and the story progression and the characterization, like I said, or like I was about to say, or maybe I did say it, I interrupted myself. The fuel is the stuff that Monaka was helping Bulma make. She says it'll be ready in a full day, so there's some progression there. You got the fucking Pilaf gang there helping her build the time machine and fix everything. So it's moving along. And that's pretty much the main... Oh, and Goku and Beerus and Whis go to Universe 10. So there's progression there. And Vegeta, of course, is continuing to train and fucking, you know, being a badass. That scene was really cool. But, yeah, that's really it for the story progression. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. We didn't get any Goku Black in this episode. Didn't get any follow-up to Mai in this episode, the future version. But in terms of characterization, which is what this fucking show excels at to an absurd degree, it is fucking phenomenal. Okay, the characterization in this episode, you got Kid Trunks and Mai, which is a little bit more comedic, but he's trying to hit on her, he's trying to be cool, he puts the blade on his back to try to look like fucking adult Trunks, you know. He has a crush on her, and he's finally trying to put the moves on her. His moves aren't very good, but he's like 8, so fuck it. So he's trying to do that. She's not really into him. It's kind of funny, too, because you could see it both ways. She's like a 40-year-old in a kid's body, so you could see her ignoring him because he's a kid and she wants to be with the adult because, you know, she is an adult mentally. But the Pilaf gang are a bunch of morons, so you could see her kind of being swept up and liking the kid just because she is a kid, because that's what happened in the movies. It worked there because the Pilaf gang are dumb. Speaking of the Pilaf gang, never thought I would see Dr. Briefs and Pilaf in a scene together talking, ever. But that was definitely... It wasn't like a particularly funny scene, but it's just interesting to see those two together on screen. I never thought that would ever happen. But, so you have the characterization there with those kids. Then you have Trunks meeting Gohan again. And the interactions here are great, because he's remembering Gohan from the Cell games, and he's like, he's so different now. But he sees the family, and he remembers the family life that he could have had, or he doesn't really remember it, but he imagines the family life he could have had with Mai and Bulma. And it's a really emotional scene. I mean, it didn't make me, like, cry or nothing, but it was, like, a really good scene because he starts to tear up. The sunset really works there. You really get the sense of, like, you know, what he could have had, and all the other scenes of him having the dream with explosions everywhere, and when he sees the location that Gohan's at, and then he remembers what it looks like in the future, clearly suffering from post-traumatic stress. And yeah, it's just really, really good characterization that they're putting on Trunks. You know, by the end of the episode, he finally, you know, he takes off the battle outfit, puts down the sword, he's dressed casual, he's ready to kind of relax. So yeah, the characterization in this episode was phenomenal. Also, not really characterization, but they know Pan can fly. I don't know if they know how fucking powerful, because she was like flying around and shit and had like an aura, but she's flying around the house and she's being a little rambunctious, but she's adorable. Like, it's like Gohan even said, I should probably be more strict with her, but every time I see her face, I go soft. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this show goes soft when they see her face. She's fucking adorable. But anyways, and she's almost more adorable when she's like flying around and trying to fucking steal Trunks' sword, which was very funny. So yeah, the comedy was good. Oh, Mr. Satan. Am I famous in the future? I'm famous in the future, right? Like, I fucking saved the world like several times. Like, that was funny too. So, also just hearing Joseph Joestar's voice come out of him is, of course, very funny as well. But yeah, the comedy was on point. The characterization was on point in this one, for Trunks especially, a little bit for Gohan. The whole episode just really validating Gohan, and I want to say almost giving closure to Gohan's story arc, but not quite, because I feel like the training he did with Piccolo has to come in handy, at least for one more big fight. He doesn't have to, like, die or anything for his family, but, you know, just one more fight to show the fruits of the training he had with Piccolo, then that'll be the final thing, and this was the closure for his family life and everything. Trunks approves, Trunks is jealous of it, and yeah, it really worked as an episode. It was absolutely fantastic. This review feels like it's going to be long, but I was definitely highly anticipating this episode, and it did not disappoint at all. The characterization was fantastic. The story progression was good. The only thing that was a little disappointing was the Universe 10 stuff, because it literally is just what was in the preview with like a couple extra scenes, you know. And by a couple extra scenes, I mean green dude pushing a fucking cart with tea on it. Like, that's literally the extra part you see, so kind of disappointed there, but the rest of the episode was fantastic, and I knew the episode wasn't going to focus on the Universe 10 stuff. I knew that was just their big stinger at the end of the episode to get people really interested to tune in next week, which, it's Dragon Ball. People are going to tune in next week no matter what, but yeah, it was a really, really good episode. I do apologize if the review is long. Watch, I fucking edit it and it turns out to be normal length, but if it is, whatever. Usually I try to keep these reviews kind of quick, but, you know. Anyways, what did you guys... Oh, actually, hold on. Rating. I'm gonna give this episode... Well, okay, I give the scene with Trunks saying his dream finally came true like a fucking 12 out of 10. Like, that shit was just perfect. But, I mean, anyways, that scene was great. But overall, the episode is definitely a solid 9 out of 10. easily an amazing episode of Dragon Ball Super. One of the best in the series, in my opinion. Maybe I'm overhyping it, but that's where you guys come in. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super in the comment section below. You can follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.